Hello everybody, did this make it better? Now, before I start, I'm sorry for the long wait. Originally, it was supposed to be 2 weeks break, not a full month break. Yeah, that's basically it. And after 2 weeks, I, well, it's just hard to get back into the motion of doing what is. No worries, I still remember most of it. I think I need to rewatch it, but I don't feel like that. But anyway, with all that said, I hope you will enjoy this what if since I'm out of practice for a whole month. Here we go. This is what if Zuko was a mutant part 17. 18 plus, just to be safe. Now, I remember it being left off of Muriel and his two friends leaving and talking about seeing if Nai want to take him in. Now some things go through for a few days. Zuko was called in to the office by Principal Nezu. Zuko walks in and sees that All Might as well as Muriel's is there, and someone extra. He looks to his father and asks him what he needs. And, well, dang, forgot his name. Sir Nai looks at this kid and thinks that this kid is too arrogant. And looks over to Principal Nezu and for his current response. Principal Nezu tells Zuko that Zuko, you're not really allowed to go back to your usual agency last time because she's gone through some things, and I like you to prefer working with Sir Nai over here. Zuko looks over to his father, and asks, is this an order or a... Damn it, I'm losing a bunch of words. A suggestion. Objection. Whatever, you guys should know what I mean. And Principal Nezu said a suggestion. Cool. Cool. I'll say no. He looks over to Sir Nai and bows, and looks over to the others and leaves, not saying anything to the other two. Principal Nezu say, hold on, I did not say you can leave. Now getting serious. And Zuko it was a good day. It was a good day. And he looks back at Principal Nezu. This time much more serious. And Principal asks Zuko to at least go to his agency and see what he wants, giving him a look that Zuko should know on any information on why he's interested. Zuko, of course, takes this message, says, fine, yes sir. Would you please, and he looks over to Sir Nai and asks him if he would please direct him to his agency. Sir Nai is still up in the pedestal at the highest, thinking he's top dog to everybody but All Might. And since they patch up things, he really thinks that Muriel is the most powerful and don't even see Zuko much of anything. But he wants to show his student that this kid is nothing. So he tells this kid exactly where to go at what time, and he leaves. He's saying bye to All Might, Muriel, and Principal Nezu, but give a glare over to Zuko as he leaves. Zuko asked if that was all, and Principal Nezu said yes, you can go. Izuku leaves, closes the door, and just walks away. He does not want to deal with all of this. And inside the office, feeling the tension finally going down, Principal Nezu tells him, well, good luck to you two. I'm gonna go get me some coffee. He gets off of his stool, his chair, and walks out. They look at each other and thinking, if that was that strange? Did we do something wrong? And they both say out loud, nah. They both have the same mindset. Now, Zuko's over at the dorms with everybody else, and he's leaning on. He's on one chair, a chair that only meant for one person. Momo looks at him. Zuko moves over and put his hands on the empty space and taps it a bit, and she sit right next to him. She leans a bit on his shoulder, and Zuko doesn't mind it at all. Quite enjoy it, giving a slight smile on his face. He hears a few clicking sounds and sees that Mina is taking a few pictures. Zuko tried to give her some sign language, but realized that she doesn't understand. So he says this out loud, quiet enough where she can only hear it, but loud enough where she can hear it, but quiet enough where no one else can hear it. Wow, I really messed that one up too. And said, send me the pic. Which she, of course, would when she nodded and gave him a thumbs up. Now, after all of this is over, Zuko, tells Momo to get off because he needs to go have a meeting with someone. She asks with who, and Zuko said, no one important, but I might be a little late. And just start the group study session without me. And, Momo agrees to this and went off. Without forgetting something important. She looks over to Zuko and just giving him a hug. Zuko hugs back because it was one of the few that he quite enjoys. Especially the soft mounts that's on his chest. Yeah, it's been a while. I realize why I missed so much. Now, after getting up into his suit, getting battle ready, and stretch out for a bit, he finally entered into Sir Night-Eye's agency. He kind of assumes where the office will be at, and asks for directions if he was correct, which he was. When he was going down the hall towards Sir Night-Eye's door, Muriel, kind of knocked into him. Zuko looks at him. I have to look up just a bit, but he's pretty tall. And asked if that is Sir Night-Eye's door. And Muriel said yes, since that is the only door that has All Might posters all over. Zuko said, thank you. And he gets going. But Muriel tried to talk with him a little bit more and tells him to get on Sir Night-Eye's good side to crack up some jokes. Zuko does not want to get on his good side at all. He really wants to see how pissed off Sir Night-Eye can get. And say, I'll keep that in mind. My question, is there anything he does not like? And Muriel thinks about it. He said, no, not really. He doesn't like laziness, people that doesn't care. Oh yeah, he really hates people that's badmouth All Might. And all of his I can't say it, achievements. There's another word that's with an O or with an A, but oh well, that I can't say. Ooh, that rhymes. Yay. Human side. That's so annoying. Zuko keeps that in mind. He walks into the door with Muriel as well, and he sees an instance of Certain Eye tickling Bubble Girl, which he does not like at all. This seems like a form of torture, and just kind of bubbles up some inner emotions that he never thought he would get ever again. He looks over to Muriel and asks if this happens daily. And Muriel said, yeah, but that's how Certain Eye wants everybody to show a bright smile, as he gets his own. Zuko said, yeah. He thinks to himself, how far can I push him without getting in trouble with his father? He gives a smile, slight smile, but it's very fake. You can tell in a mile away, which Muriel can see but does not want to say. He coughs, and it shows that Certain Eye sees that someone is in the room, tells Bubble Girl to get off, and tells Muriel to go along with her to get some coffee. He'll talk with Zuko for a bit. As Muriel and Bubble Girl are leaving, Muriel tells him for good luck. Zuko said, I don't need it. Bit cocky, but okay, and he closed the door. Certain Eye explained a few things and saying that that his agency is the best right under All Might's, that this will be a perfect ground of training if you could ever pass my test. Zuko said, yeah, sure. I don't... does this mean I have to do a lot of work? He says this out loud. Which Certain Eye get a little tick mark, saying yes. For a pro hero, they must do a lot of work for the daily to be up in the same standards as pro heroes, especially All Might. And Zuko said, what's the minimum? Like 5, 2? Which it gives Nai a slight tint of red anger coming up. And Zuko sees this and push it a bit more. He's not scared at all. He dealt with Nezu. He's not scared at anybody. And said, you know, All Might is not a god. He's barely a person. And since his power is gone, he's barely a hero. Which, this really enraged Certain Eye. But Certain Eye tried his best to keep his cool. And tried to do the same procedure of touching Zuko's hand and looking straight in his eye. But Zuko does not look in his eyes, already knowing that he needs something to trigger his power. So he doesn't... holding his hand is the only polite thing to do. But he looks straight at his jaw. More on his chin. And Certain Eye tells him it's very rude to not look into an elder, a higher being, in their eyes. And Zuko said, yes, it's very rude. But I don't see why I had to be nice to you. That ticked him off. And said, fine, okay. He looks over to Zuko. Zuko did not look, but it was just enough to give Certain Eye his power. To see Zuko's in the future for a bit. Just to give him an edge. Certain Eye tells him if he can take this stamp off his hands and stamp it into the papers, I will allow you to work here. Like Mario. Zuko said, what? As he picks his ears, making sure he sees Certain Eye getting a little more frustrated, and just tell the kid if he's really serious of being a hero. Zuko said, you said something? And Certain Eye, I say, fine. I can see that you're trying to anger me in a certain way. I do not understand why, but let's see. He tried to say something without sounding offensive, but Zuko cut him off, saying, "Hold on, what is your real reason of testing me?" So Naai does not know the answer to that. He doesn't know to himself either. So he just says the first thing that comes out of his mouth, which is to show Muriel that you are not that great, to show All Might that you're not that great, to show that Principal Nezu is wrong about you. Because all the anger and pent up rage that Zuko pushed into him is coming out in a very venomous way to make sure he get hurt his feelings. Zuko said, "Oh, is that all? Wow. I really was hoping for something useful. I would have guessed this and told him sooner. Okay. How long the test will be?" And Sir Nai say, about 30 minutes. Zuko said, "Fine. In 10 minutes, you'll be on the floor begging for me to stop." "That's a bold promise, young man. Are you sure you can handle my full battle strategies?" Zuko said, "Yes." He zipped up, covered his mouth, and the mask shows. And Sir Nai dodged a few times, seemingly dodging of nothing, but Zuko was whipped out of his tails in extremely high speeds, a flash of red and black going all over the room, and Sir Nai dodging as if nothing. Zuko speak out loud, saying, "So, it needs a touch and eye contact for you to activate your quirk. Very interesting. I'll keep that in mind," as he goes faster and faster. Sir Nai tells him this is useless since he can see in the future. But a few minutes ahead, he sees that his whole body on the floor with immense pressure, but looks like he's saying something but he can't see or hear. Zuko stops his tails and asks Sir Nai on what his limits on his quirk. Sir Nai saying that he has this much limits. Zuko said, "Ah, very polite of you. Let me explain what my limits are." "I don't have any." Sir Nai is a little bit confused until he sees that Zuko's pulling out more tails and more, and then transforming them into wings, which he did not see that in the future at all. And those wings are starting to heat up the room. Zuko gets closer and closer and asks Sir Nai on how long can he take the extreme heat. Which Sir Nai tried to say something but can't because it's very hot, making his throat dry. Zuko explained, "Oh, you must be feeling how your throat is dry. Seems like all the evaporations, all the liquids in your mouth have finally dried out. It's very hard to speak, isn't it? Now, if I just touch one side, as Sir Nai tried to move, but sadly did not move fast enough for the other hand to touch his other arm, he feels extreme heat, and it seems like it's the wings, not his arms. And it's starting to, burn in a way where he's gonna get a few sunburns on his hand, which Sir Nai tried to move. But the room gets hotter in temperature to a point where it's around 90 degrees, which is very hot, but it feels worse when Sernai is wearing all black, Zuko's wearing all black, but he's used to his own heat, and slowly raise the temperature, well, letting it out of control, to a point where Sernai is on the ground, breathing heavily as if he's taking a lot of pressure, and he looks up to Zuko and trying to say how, in a very scruff voice. And Zuko says, "No oxygen," as he turned off his wings. He took the stamp and breaks it, drop it in front of Sernai, and leaves the room, not giving Sernai the satisfaction of putting in the stamp. After a few minutes, Muriel comes in and sees that Sernai is still laying down, passed out. And Muriel can only hear one thing from Sernai. "Water," asked Bubble Girl and gave him a lot of water. They ask what happened, and Aizawa, no, Sernai does not want to say anything about it. Zuko calls in, tells Nezu about what he wanted to do and what he needed to embarrass him for. And Nezu said, rubbing his head, "How much damage did you do this time?" And Zuko said, just a few eagles, maybe a few posters. I think I cracked one of his ribs, I'm not sure though. And Nezu said, "Who do you want to enter ship now?" Zuko thinks about it and says, "Where did that Tamaki guy go to?" Tamaki. "Oh, Sun Eater." And Zuko said, "Yeah, that guy. Where did he go enter ship in?" Principal Nezu looked up the file and say, "Fat. And Zuko said, "Yeah, I'll go with him. I think I can train him to be better with his quirk." Nezu thinks about it, thinking about the shield, where Sun Eater had to eat some insects for the shield, some butterfly for the wings, and octopus for the arms. Thinks it's a perfect idea and allows it. Zuko said thank you, and he was about to ask for directions, but Nezu already gave it to him. Said, "Have a nice day." And he says thank you and hang up. Going over to there, he's a little surprised to see that, Kirishima is also there. Kirishima, being all bright, bashful, and manliness to Fat Gum, that Fat Gum can't help but to take him into his arms. Which, when Zuko walks in and sees this, kind of wants to go back to Sernai's office, just because it's a little too weird for him. But Tamaki saying it's you, in a very off-putting sound of voice volume, higher than he usually has. Zuko said, "Oh, hey, I would like to enter ship in this certain area. I believe I'll be great help in this, in your, what was your speech again?" Is Fat Gum said, "Oh, right, my shield and sword." He talks about his speech about everybody can be a shield and a sword, but has a main compartment, very important to balance them both out. And Fat Gum asked, Kirishima, which one is stronger, the world's strongest shield or the world's strongest sword? And Kirishima, without missing a beat, saying the world's strongest shield. Zuko was given the same question, and Zuko said, "Depends on the wielder." Fat Gum was surprised to hear such an answer from young men and asked him why. And Zuko explained, "A world's strongest shield is the same thing as the world's strongest weapon. But depending on the wielder, that very potential of the shield could be wasted or enhanced. Same thing with the sword. It will be a regular sword in someone that doesn't know how to wield it, or be a very powerful, like you say, world's strongest sword to a master. It depends on the wielder, which Tamaki agrees after Fat Gum saying, "Young man, I like your how you think. Welcome to my agency." And he looks over to Kirishima and welcome him as well. Now he tells about the workout schedule, and times where they had to come in after school, and times where they might be clocking out at the end of the day. And Zuko asks about the nightlife and what scoops that he's into right now, which Fat Gum just tells him, "It's better if I show you," as he goes out. At the dead of night, where it's still buffering and loud of people everywhere, at around 12 a.m. or p.m. I forget which one. I'm still not good with that. And he explained about drugs. People are, mostly drugs and illegal substance that he's working on. Zuko asks more about these details, to a point they hear a few gunshots. Kirishima forms his wall and looks over and seeing that some fights are going off, and with guns it's much more dangerous. The scuffle goes back and forth to a point that Kirishima sees one of the guys running away. Zuko, knowing that Kirishima is new to this, tells Fat Gum that he'll take care of Kirishima, take care of this guy, as Fat Gum allows it and let him go. Fat Gum, he's dealt with it, he caught the bullet, everything. Now over with Kirishima, he is talking back to this guy with a knife quirk. The one that has blades coming out of him for about 1 or 2 inches. Kirishima tells him to just give up and don't hurt anybody, and also tells him a few other things that I can't remember directly. That his armor is stronger than his knives, which a fight against back and forth shows that Kirishima can break his weapons, which the guy is very angry and does not want to give up, so he injects himself with a very blood. He's starting to grow more and more blades out of his stomach, his back, his sides, his arms, and his hands. And he was about to direct to Kirishima, but he was instead want to spread out his arms and direct it to the people around. At this point, about 10 to 8 people are out in the alley just watching the fight, since there's always a crowd in pro hero battles. Kirishima is withstanding most of the blows, but once that passed through them, Zuko swooped in and took the people that were about to get hit out of the way. Zuko said, I'll take care of the hostage. You go and take care of him." Kirishima nods and starts stomping forward one at a time until he gets close enough to punch the guy. The guy is now focusing all of his weapons towards Kirishima, and Zuko's just telling the people in the back to not worry. He's the best shield that we have in our group. And Zuko sees a few people taking video of this and saying this is so cool. And what's his name? And Zuko say his name is Red Riot. He can take care of these hostages easily. he can easily take them out and put them on the streets where Fatcom can see them. But he knows that recognition and popularity is very hard to gain even in the background. So he allows it. And then one of the people was about to say, "Wait, aren't you the one that won?" And Zuko covers his mouth and tells him, "Shh, I'm just a student." And he's protecting us, as he points over to Red Riot. As Red Riot do this whole speech on protecting the weak, making sure that everybody's safe, to live on for another day. And right when the last guy, Blade guy, shoot out as much more than last time, pushing Red Riot back, but his feet is not moving. It's physically pushing him back. The power disappears. All of it's gone. He used up all of the power for that one instance. Kirishima breathes heavily for a bit, looks at the guy, cracked his knuckles, that's a one-time thing, and threw a huge hook onto this guy's jaw, dislocating it just a bit and knocking this guy out. And telling him that I am Red Riot to protect the weak. It sounds cool to his head, and he's gonna go with that. He looks back, and he sees that Zuko is just kind of standing there with his arms crossed, smiling as he looks at the his looks over to the crowd. Kirishima sees that the other people are cheering and yelling out, "Red Riot, Red Riot." Which Kirishima gets all bashful and saying, and Zuko comes in, cover his mouth, kind of, and just saying, "Well, thank you, Red Riot, for protecting the weak," as he gives a wink to Kirishima, which Kirishima tried to figure out what that meant, but Zuko say, whispering, "Play along, I'll take care of this guy. Go and say and talk to the others and check on them if they're okay." Which Zuko kind of slapped his hand, high five of sorts, of switching sides. Kirishima take care of the people as well as them thanking him for protecting them, and Zuko gets the guy and tried to interrogate this guy, but he's fully knocked out. No way of him talking. But he picked him up, hold him tightly where he knows he's gonna leave a mark. But he searched around his pockets and finds a syringe that's also red that says "boost," and thinks, "What do you have? Why is this so important to you to risk your life as well as your comrades?" After that, Red Riot leads the way, and Zuko takes the guy. After everybody else was taken down and being arrested and taken to the police station, Zuko tells Fatcom about this bullet and what it has inside the thing. It looks like it's blood, but it's also mixed with something else. But the weird thing is it says "boost." And Fatcom takes this in and tells Zuko thank you. He'll take it to some scientists and to the lab and test it out. A few days pass. Then a week. 2, now 3 weeks has passed. The whole classroom learns that Zuko Kirishima is with Fatcom, which Bakugo is frustrated that he's not in the agency just yet, so he's going to look out and find some other people. Everybody's congrats, great. I can't even remember that word either. Anyway, being very appreciated and talking to Zuko as well as Kirishima about their agencies. And then the whole class learns, that Oraka, Suyu, and Momo is also with the Dragon Hero, which now they're talking to them about their things. And Momo just said that it was her first day and it was a little bit weird, but she tried to calm everybody down, trying to become the mom of the group. Zuko chimes in saying, so, how was the Dragon Hero? And Momo tried to say something, but she can't really say it in words because it was really embarrassing. And Araka saying, yeah, how was it? And Suyu, well, she's not saying anything. She just wants to see Momo suffers a little bit. Now we're skipping back a few days where Araka, Suyu is already walking in with Nejire and her talking about everything. But she also asked about that other girl, the one with a tail. The two girls think was a tail, and they say, oh, you mean Momo? And she said, yeah, her. Doesn't she have like the same quirk as Itsuku? And Araka saying, no, but it looks so cool too. What do you think? Should we? And she looks over to Suyu and asks her if we should take her into the agency too. Suyu tells her, first let's get accepted first, and then ask for Momo. They go, being selected by Nejire as well as the Dragon Hero. They go out in patrol, fight a few giants, come back, and they ask about if bring in another girl. And they say, which one? Momo. And they explain about her quirk as well as her new ability along with her quirk. She thinks it's very interesting until Araka also slip up and saying, and she'll be so it'd be so funny to see and ask more questions, personal questions about Deku, or not Deku, but more on her relationship with Deku. Which Suyu, of course, agrees that she wants to get more scoop, more details, juicy details from Momo as well. And the other two girls, Nejire, would like to get into the gossip since it's been so long. And, well, the Dragon Hero is not fully against something like that, so she asks for Momo to come in. A few days pass and she comes in. And she fully thought that she's going to get into a very serious field at the very beginning, like her last one, but this time more serious. But the moment she gets into a table, and all the girls are on Momo, Suyu, Araka, Nejire, the Dragon Hero, are sitting in a round table. It's silence for a few minutes, until Nejire asks on what is her boyfriend, who is her boyfriend. And then Araka asks on how far have they gone, did they do any cute dates. Suyu just looking at them but staring at Momo, and Momo starting to get a huge blush until the Dragon Hero saying enough. One, we are not asking the real question. Why Izuku? That got an erection. Erection? Fucking, I can't even remember any words. Great. Reaction. Momo on squealing, blushing madly, and trying to look away. Also, her hands are on her face, trying to cover her blush. After a few laughing and comments on how red she is, Momo answers those questions, which she's not very against, but when Dragon Hero asks her about her question, and she finally answers miracles, and she say, I don't know. He's so strong, so cool, so serious? And well, Tsuyu say, yeah, but Todoroki's just like that, and he's just as powerful, maybe even stronger. And Araka said, yeah, why not him? Zuko's so scary, and Momo said exactly. She's starting to get a dreamy eyes, stars in her eyes, almost hearts now, and starting to drool a bit. And she shocked herself back into reality, saying, what were you talking about? And they say, Zuko, and why you like him. And Momo said, she says the same things again, and they say, yes, we know, you already told us that. What else? As they lean in to get some more scoop. And Momo said, I don't know. Which shocks a few of them. And they ask, why does she not know? She said, I just like him so much that I just... And she's starting to get into a... She just goes out in a rant and saying that she just wants to hug him, hold him up so tightly until the end of the day, end of the night, forever and ever and ever. They look over to the Dragon Hero, since she's the oldest, which also means she might have some experience about this, saying, don't look at me, this is my first time seeing a love sickness. Girl, how in love are you with him? How much are you? Are you okay? And Momo just can't handle it and blush. Also, first time ever passing out. After that happened, and enough questioning about boys, about their hero work, and them starting to realize that Zuko even helped her with her fighting style, as well as with her new tail, her new ability. I have not thought this far through. Now, back into the present moment, they were all given a signal, a text message from their bosses by that moment, what time they need to come in on the next day. They look at each other. Well, they look at their phones, they look at their partners. Izuku to Kirishima, Kirishima to Izuku, Oraka to Tsuyu, and Momo as the other two to Oraka. They all nod and answer, okay, be there, and went back on the talking. And that's where I'm going to end it. Thank you for listening. Have a very nice day, and I hope I'll do more faster next week. Maybe this week. I'm not sure. Alright then. Bye.